Hi, welcome back to my channel. Bienvenidos a mi canal. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and I wanted to do a psychic reading today on Kate del Castillo. She is a Mexican actress, very well known in Mexico, very well respected. She stars in a lot of telenovelas, but she's also had some movie roles in Mexican movies. And she is now an American citizen. And so I wanted to kind of do something different. I haven't been focusing a lot on other actresses that are not well known here in America, but are well known internationally, in other countries. But for Kate, she is at a point in her career where she is well known here in the U.S. by a lot of the Latin culture. So I wanted to focus on her and see what I get for the remaining of 2018 and 2019. So uh, going into Kate's energy and soul, what I get immediately is that she is a very bright individual, a very strong work ethic when it comes into her. I feel like she's very meticulous and she takes on her roles very, very seriously. She's well known for telenovela that recently aired, and I believe it's available on like Hulu and stuff. It's called La Reina del Sur, and it's basically the Queen of the South, which they made a series, I believe, on the USA channel, but it's not her starring in that one. It's a separate, show. But this is a very popular telenovela. I did get to see her in the entire telenovela, and I really, am a big fan of her. But again, for purposes of this reading, I have to kind of set my personal, opinions aside and really just channel from spirit. So when I get into her energy, I see that right now, for the remaining of 2018, 2019, there could be some things going on with her family, which I believe they do live in Mexico. And I feel like there is a lot of turmoil within her family environment, a lot of protection. She's very protective of her family. But I feel like for the most part, there's a lot of things that have gone on, in Mexico. And I feel like, she feels like right now she needs to stay here in the USA, to focus more on her career and kind of further it. Um, but I still see that she is closely in communication with her family, but there is a separation there, and I do feel like right now there would be some kind of trouble that they're going through, some kind of whether this is a privacy issue. It could also be, that there's some people in the family that are just not getting along, but there's conflict when it comes to her home life, in particular her family back in Mexico. And I feel like she is very aware of the situation. And I get that it's not one or two people; it could be more than that. But I get, it's very much people that are close to her heart. So this would be her father, her mother, and possibly, a sister or somebody else that would be like a sister to her that lives over there in Mexico. I do get also that she feels like right now she's having to take charge of the situation and put her life on hold for a moment to kind of address this. But she's very much focused on new projects and stuff. She's also very focused on her love life, which is something I'll get into in a couple of minutes. But for the most part, what I see with her is that um, she's very much more focused on her career, making a name for herself, and I feel like she wants to cross over into a lot of American films and roles, which is a little difficult because of the fact that she's mainly known for her roles in Mexico and Mexican telenovelas and movies. So but I do feel like there is an alignment and there is a special project that may be happening within the next year for her, which it would be a role, whether this is like a TV show or an actual movie. But there is going to be something that is like a crossover for her, which is more dealing on the American territory, and it's more of English. And she is bilingual. She does speak English and she understands it. So I do get that for her in her career. I do also feel like there is a lot of jealousy among her peers back in Mexico, where they may feel like she kind of sold them out or kind of like turned her back on them because now she's living in the USA. So I feel like there are a couple of people, not just colleagues, but other people in general, other, not just actresses and actors, but also, people in general in Mexico who were supporters of Kate, And then she, they saw that she left to America, and she is here now in America. Um, but I do get, that she does carry this deep sadness when I get into her soul energy. And I feel like in some ways, her attitude and her energy that she is giving off quite a bit. Sometimes she lives more in a more serious role. She knows how to have fun and stuff. But I feel like her soul takes more on the masculine side of her energy. And so this is where I'll get into her love life, but in her business world, in the business world, she would be finding that there would be some, obstacles or maybe some clashing between male producers and writers of the telenovelas and, things that, projects that she would have going. I feel like, if she feels like she's with the right person or the right team, she'll take on that offer. And I feel like there has been offers made to her, and she's actually rejected these offers for whatever reason. She has her reason, and she is, very perceptive. And I get that she would be in tune. If she gets a bad vibe, you could call this intuition, or you can just call it perception. She would, definitely pay attention to this and really, focus on that. I do feel like there is some kind of loneliness right now that she is going through, even though she may have tons of friends and connections here in the U.S. and Los Angeles and Miami. I just get that there's, a period of loneliness that she's going through, but there is a shift coming. And I get that the month of November this year is very, very, very important for Kate. So if she happens to listen to this, uh, you know, Noviembre, or the month of November, is definitely going to be a very important month for you, Kate. And I feel like this is a turning point for you in your relationship, in your love life, and also for your career. So let me go ahead and get into the next slide here. So this is Aaron Diaz, and she was married to Aaron from 2009 to 2012. He is an actor, a model, and what I get from him, the reason that their marriage would not have worked out, it would have been because, um, he is a very attractive male, obviously, and he has a lot of, females that would be interested in him. I feel like there was, issues that he was going through as well in his own career, and the time frames and their schedules would have been different. But I also get that there would have been some possible cheating, and some dishonesty that she later uncovered. And like I said, she's a very strong energy and intense. And so when you combine someone like Kate with Aaron, it's a very platonic, very interesting situation, but it can also be a very toxic situation. And there would have been arguments, there would have been discussions. Um, I do feel like, in her heart of hearts, she still does have some love for Aaron. I don't feel like she hates him. She doesn't hate. She just feels hurt, that this would have happened. And I feel like, it was a culmination of things. I also feel like his family, he would have had some family issues himself. And I feel like his family maybe was a little disconnected from Kate as well. So there's a lot of different, aspects and qualities of things that would have contributed to the marriage being kind of rocky. But I feel like it was something that slowly deteriorated. It wasn't something that happened in the beginning. The beginning, the first year, it was perfect. Everything was, working out. But then there was challenges within the marriage itself, and so it just didn't work out completely or at all. Um, this is the next slide. This is Luis Garcia Postigo, and she was married to him from 2001, 2004. So she was a lot younger there in this relationship, and he was a lot much more older than her. So I feel like, the reason, I feel like when she got into this marriage, it was more, she was new to experiences. I feel like she was very much in love. She saw the good in him. He's a very romantic guy, very passionate, when it comes to, just having a relationship. And I felt like, she felt almost like this was a fairy tale. It was, just beautiful for her. But then slowly and truly, I feel like he had a mask that he wore, and a lot of these feelings and these emotions would have gone away. And so Kate would have seen this, and would have kind of like felt like he was kind of holding her back on career opportunities, and their marriage was never going to work out. I feel like his goals and his he didn't want Kate in a powerful position or to have a lot of money. I feel like it was almost like he wanted to have the upper hand and control in the situation. So there was a lot of power struggles between these two. At that time, in this period of their marriage, and when she was together with him, I feel like she would have been a different person than she is now today. The years have made her very wise and have toughened her up. But she would have been in a more vulnerable spot and kind of didn't really know what to expect out of this relationship. But now that she is much older and wiser, she's not way old, but I'm just saying she's more mature. Now she would definitely not allow herself to ever be with someone like that ever again. And what I'm getting from Spirit is that this is one of the relationships that really kind of made her open her eyes to future relationships. And I get that a lot of this, that she is going through has to do with, a lot of it has to do with her energy. She's not a difficult person to get along with. I feel like she is very, level-headed, but she's very straightforward and she doesn't like games. And I feel like in these relationships, her voice wasn't always heard and there was just a lot of disagreements. It wasn't 50-50 in the relationship. So she would have been putting a lot more energy and time into her relationships. Do I see her getting married in the future? I feel like her parents want and her family want to see her get married again. Everybody, she's still very young, a very young actress. And I feel like, there's a lot of pressure from her family, maybe, or at least once they want to, see her happy and have children and, and just get married. But I feel like her path is a lot different. I really don't feel like she may choose to have, children. This is, could be a different thing for her. But I feel like her focus is not so much around having children or, really getting married right now. It's very possible that she will get married, but I don't see it in the immediate future. I do feel like she will be, dating someone, and I feel like he will be from Mexico. But he is someone who would be very, tall, an actor. I feel like he is an actor and very dark complected. Features like his hair is very dark, his eyes would be brown, and I feel like he's younger than her, maybe about a year or two. And I feel like this would be a friendship. Starts off as a friendship, and definitely would carry on into something that could possibly be long term. But I feel like for the next 2 to 3 years, she's not going to be in a long-term relationship. She is very picky and careful about, who she aligns herself with. But I do feel like, Spirit is telling her, that that it is time. She is in an age where if she wanted to have, children, this would be something she needs to focus on now. But I do get for the most part that she is experiencing a lot of blessings, and her finances will be good, throughout 2018, 2019. Like I said, her career opportunities, I do feel like there's a lot of different things that she's going to be doing for the Mexican community, for the telenovelas, and for, TV shows. But also, I feel like there is, other facets of things that she would be doing here soon. It could be, even going into something as like, more in the fashion world. It's very possible for her. When I say fashion, I mean like, being a spokesperson for, like I said, a particular group or brand of clothing, things, something like that. But I feel like, she is well known, and I feel like there's, a lot of, different feelings and directions that her life is in right now, but there's a lot of clarity that comes in. She just needs to be patient. I also feel that there's something legal tied to her. I don't know if this is something that is coming up in the future, or it's something that is more in the past that I'm tuning in and that I'm not aware of at all. Like I said, when I do these celebrity readings, I only know what I've seen on TV, or if they're a singer on the radio. I don't, know about their personal life, so I'm just relying on what Spirit gives me. But there is something that feels almost like future oriented that is a legal issue. This could be more attributed to maybe someone, a contract, a conflict in contract with her, something that she would have had, rights to. Maybe she worked on something producing, a film, a telenovela or something. But I feel like there is something legal coming in very soon. And I feel like this is more aligned with 2019 for Kate. But I do see that she will also be having a soulmate coming into her life, like I said. So her love life is not going to be something that is, boring, or she won't be single for that much longer. She will be in a relationship. So, all right, this is what I see for Kate del Castillo. I want to thank you all out there. Muchísimas gracias a todos. And if you did like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you'd like to set up a private reading with me, you can go to my website. That's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. Have an amazing day. Blessings and love and light.